Today I will be demonstrating our first prototype for our smart mailbox notification system. So as you can see here, we have a basic hinge operated mailbox. Now what's special about this mailbox is we have a limit switch here, which is wired to an Arduino. Now this Arduino is being powered currently by the computer for testing purposes, but it can also be powered by any other power brick off the normal tech market. So when this hinge door is put down, the switch is in an off state and pressed down. When the switch has been opened, it will send a trigger to our Arduino board, which will run a code, and this code will eventually send a notification to the user. Now let's see a practical example of the mailbox working. So say this is my piece of mail here and I am the mail courier. I will simply open the mailbox normally. We'll deliver the mail into the mailbox. And here we can see on our serial monitor that it says the door has been opened. It connects to my Wi-Fi network. And then it connects to the IoT broker. Once it is connected to the MQTT broker, it publishes the message. And here we can see that it has published successfully. Now what this message will do, it will trigger a notification to be sent to the user so that they know that their mail has arrived. So after a short while, when the door has been closed, we can see that on the serial monitor it reports that the door has been closed. Now if the user were to get some more mail and the mailbox would open again, we would see it would run the script once again. And since it's already connected to the MQTT broker, it would immediately publish the message. Now, of course, we do have a timer in place which allows the user to get mail without running this whole script and publishing the message again. So there is a time frame that they can grab their mail safely without activating the script. We can see here on our Azure environment that our device in use is the ARD1010 Wi-Fi 2. And we can successfully see that it is sending out the messages to our Azure environment, as we have 27 messages used today. So we can see that the mailbox is successfully communicating with our Azure IoT Hub.
Hello, I'm here to talk about what happens after the Arduino publishes a message to IoT Hub and before the user receives their email notification. So as Lucas mentioned in his video, when the mailbox door is opened, Arduino would send a message to IoT Hub. And then what happens to that message? From the IoT Hub, the message is routed to an event grid. And then an event grid will call an event that would trigger a function. And that would be this function. So what this function essentially does is that it takes the Arduino device ID and then looks up the user, their email, and their user ID from the database. Then it would send an email notification to that user's email. Additionally, it will store a record of a message in the database. So some message attributes are device ID, user ID, timestamp of the mail delivery, and the email address of the recipient. So that's what this function essentially does.
Today I'm going to demonstrate how our client can register and have access to the messages in our portal. So the user needs to sign in, and if he doesn't have an account, he can create that. And it goes directly to B2C. So I'm going to use the test account, and I need to send a verification code that goes through email for the user, because B2C has multi-factor authentication. So I put the code here verify. I create a password. I need to add a phone number, display a name, test, Roberta, and street 123 street, and surname test. So I'm creating here, and automatically it creates on B2C as well. We can see here the tests. So to continue with the registration, the user needs to come to the user and he put his address here and the postal code and the mailbox number and the device number and save. When we save, it automatically updates the database. So we have here our user created with the device ID. So right now I'm going to demonstrate how the message in the client's email. So I'm going to use my email. If the user needs to change his information, he can edit. So for the messages, I can see here that I have a message that comes from the device ID and this number, create at, and the day, data, and the hour, and my email. The client will also receive email and with the device ID and also when the message was created.
Alright guys, so continuing on, I will now demonstrate the end user experience. So to start off, we'll go to our website's web application via this link in the URL bar. And here we'll be greeted by our welcome page, and we'll want to sign up for an account since we do not have one already. So we'll simply click sign in, and we'll click sign up now because we do not have an account. And now we'll fill in all of our appropriate details. And now that we have put in all of our details, we'll need to verify our email by sending a verification code. And we can get this verification code from our mailbox. Once it comes in, we can see we have our new code here. And you can simply copy and paste this code into our user details page. And we can hit create. And after we have hit create, we can see that our user has successfully been created. Now that we have our account created, we will want to update our device ID. So now our device ID would be given out when you will receive our product, and it will be in a package, in the package of information that you receive. So to set our device ID, we'll go to user, and here we can put in some additional information and our device ID. So our device ID will be called our Wi-Fi 1010, and we hit save here. And now our device is successfully linked up to our account. And now that we have updated our user device ID, we should go into devices and create our device here. So we'll put in that same device ID, and we'll select email to receive email notifications, and we'll hit create. So now we are ready to receive email notifications for our device R1010 Wi-Fi whenever mail is delivered to the SMNS. Now let's simulate mail being delivered to successfully receive a notification that our mail has arrived. So say I am the mailman once again, and we put our mail in the mailbox. Now let's see what happens and if we get our notification or not. Alright, now that we have mail that's been delivered, let's check our inbox to see if we got a notification. So here we can see that a couple minutes ago we received a notification from our R1010 Wi-Fi 2 device that we have mail. So we're successfully notified that mail has been delivered to our mailbox and we can go pick it up.